17-year-old girl is diagnosed with cancer in Connecticut, and she's literally fighting for her life and now facing another battle. And this time it's with the local government, with the state, which is forcing her to undergo chemotherapy against her will. Her parents are unable to do much about it, even though they agree with their daughter. Dr. Charles Chuck Williams is a psychologist and director of graduate studies at Lincoln University. Good to see you, Dr. Chuck. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year and welcome back.
Thank you so much. Let's just take one assumption here for the story, that everybody has the best intentions for this child. Who's right? Is it the parents that say she can not undergo these treatments, or is it the state and the hospital that say she must to save her life?
You know, Jenna, I know a little bit about this, having been appointed to the Oversight Board for Child Protective Services by the mayor of Philadelphia. I understand some of the issues surrounding what's called medical neglect, and you want to make sure the guardians and the parents are doing right by their children. But I see the state here sort of pushing the limits of that, and the reason why I say that is for two reasons. One is you have a child who is 17 years old, and as an educational psychologist, I'll tell you, barring any sort of serious cognitive deficits, they should be able to make competent decisions about their health care. The second is the child is in agreement with the parent who legally has the right to make decisions about health care for their children. Now, if there were disagreement between the two of them, then I can see the state stepping in and saying, okay, this could be medical neglect, the child needs this, the parent doesn't want to do it, but they're in agreement, so I don't see why the state would step in, and it's sort of an egregious kind of way for the state to overreach, because health care is a personal decision.
Interesting, because what the state is doing apparently is forcing her now to undergo some of these chemotherapy treatments, which she does not want. Right. So how would you determine, if you were part of this case, Dr. Chuck, how would you determine her capability and argue for her capability to make her own decisions about her health care as a 17-year-old?
Well, you can do some competency tests, you can do some intelligence tests, some tests of cognition, the ability to reason, problem solve, ask a few questions, present a few scenarios, ask the 17-year-old girl if she understands what chemotherapy is, if she understands what cancer is, if she understands what the prognosis is, and the impact it could have on her quality of life, short-term, long-term, and the consequences of not having chemotherapy. If in the process of that interview the child seems to be aware and cognizant and understanding all the dynamics of that, and she's still okay with not going forward with chemotherapy, and the mother, again, is in agreement, who legally is the guardian, then how can you stop that?
Interesting. We'll see what happens. The case is in Connecticut. It'll be on Thursday that we'll hear a little bit more potentially about the outcome in that. I want to switch to a lighter topic here. It's on the other end of the spectrum, but it caught my attention, especially as a new mom. The New York Times this weekend had an article about the spa industry for children, and apparently a quarter of the spas in our country right now are offering spa services like massages and facials to children under the age of 13. And the Spa Association, Dr. Chuck, says this is great. It's like going to the dentist. You should teach your kids to take care of themselves this way. Of course, others disagree and say this is the worst idea ever. Where do you stand on it?
Jenna, when I was growing up and I wanted to play, my parents gave me a rock and a spork and told me good luck. You know, it's like Liam Neeson from Taken. I don't understand what these kids are doing today. You know, they're spending tens of thousands of dollars on sweet 16s. They're spending hundreds and thousands of dollars on spa treatments. What happened to pigtails and sand and playing tag? I mean, kids have the right to be kids. And when you, have them engage in these kinds of luxuries, the other thing is you're sort of teaching them that they have access to these things without earning it. The reason why we can do these things as adults is because we have jobs, and 6-year-olds don't.
Well, I have a job, and I don't know the last time that I got a massage, to be honest with you, Dr. Chuck. We're still showing some pictures, by the way, of some of these spas set up for little kids, specifically little girls. So just for advice for parents out there that could be listening, what do you say to your child when they say, listen, I'd like a spa birthday party, Mom?
I would say, birthdays involve, cake, maybe a clown, a talking bear, but you're not going to get a spa. Just for asking that, I would put my kid in the room for like a month. I'm joking. I wouldn't, but I'm saying it's sad. But typically what happens, Jenna, is the kids are feeding off the parents.
Right.
So if the kids are acting this way, then the parents are probably also entitled and spoiled and bratty and have these unrealistic expectations. And remember this, parents think that spoiling a kid is a good thing. Some parents, not all parents, not good parents, but it's not. It can really lead to unrealistic expectations. They can have problems in relationships as they expect their significant others to like give them everything they want, whatever they decide they want in that moment or in that hour.
It's something to keep in mind. We're going to have to leave it there, Dr. Chuck, but definitely something to reflect upon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.